Why did I decide to self-publish? The first reason is because I felt like I had a story to tell that would be helpful to those who have gone through a similar situations like I've gone through in the past. And I feel like I had, advice and wisdom to help people make it through whatever season they find themselves in life. The second reason why I decided to self-publish is because self-publishing is more affordable to do. You can save a lot of money. You don't have to get a book agent. You don't have to be subjected to basically to the decisions of what a major publisher would do, because a lot of times if you're going to go with a major publisher, you lose some of your autonomy when it comes to your book project. And so my third reason for deciding to self-publish is that as a self-publisher, you keep the majority of the royalties from your book sales. And so those are the reasons why I decided to self-publish.
Okay, my experience in publishing a book for the first time for me was kind of, it was a little difficult for me at first. I had to, it became a little easier once I got alone to myself. I do better alone. So once I got to myself and alone and got into my own thought process, things just began to flow. Now my wife, on the other hand, and she's already published 2 books, and it was easy for her to kind of guide me and kind of help me along the way. But once she kind of gave me the guidelines and everything, what to do, what our subject and our topic were, and some things that we agreed upon, it became easier as we went along.
My experience in writing my first book, I will touch on that one. It was an exciting feeling, and then it was also a scary and nervous feeling at the same time. But I think the mixture of emotions is what helped me to complete that first project. So it was all kind of emotions, but mainly exciting. So the process of self-publishing, there are many steps to be self-published, and the first thing is coming up with your marketing plan of how you're going to market and promote your book, because if you don't have that in place, then your whole project will flop. You can have a great book, but if you don't know how you're going to market it and promote it, then no one will know that it's there, and then there will be no excitement or interest for your book. And then after that, you want to figure out, what do you want to write about? What is there a need for? Do you have a good story regarding that subject? And then once you figure that out, you want to outline your book on what the chapters will be, how you'll title your chapter. Would it be just chapter 1, chapter 2, or will your book have a theme to it? If it's going to be a book about sports, then chapter 1 could be if it's like a wrestling match, round 1, or the second chapter, round 2. Then after you do that, you've got to get yourself on a writing schedule, because I'm sure, have a targeted deadline date of when you want your book to be out. For example, if you want your book to be out by your birthday, then you're going to have to work to make that happen. After you set that deadline, then you get on that writing schedule and stick to it. Then after that, you start your editing process. You can edit it or pay to have someone to edit it, and then from there you format your book so that it can be received in a published format, either in book format or ebook format. You want to pick out your book cover, because again, you're self-publishing. You have the authority to decide what you want your cover to look like. And so that's a little bit of the process of self-publishing.
Best part of self-publishing for me was the finishing part. And I'm not kidding, it really was the finishing part. But no, on a serious note, the best part was when we got the proof. The book came in, the proof book came in, and we knew it was a finished project. My name was on it. The book was together, all the chapters was together, and I couldn't believe it, because now I have something to leave the world.
The best part of self-publishing would have to be the day you see your book being released on Amazon and in the marketplace, basically knowing that, okay, now people can get their hands on it. And the next best thing is when it's available in ebook, because then you know that they can get it even faster. And another thing that's good about self-publishing is when you get the reviews and the feedback from those who read your book and they share with you how the book really helped them. It helped them to see something. It helped them to make it through a difficult spot, or it gave them that breakthrough moment in their life. So those are some of the good things about it. So how much time did we have to dedicate to self-publishing? The first project that I did which was with the crisis management book. It took about 30 days to get that one completed, and that was amazing considering it was my first book, but 30 days, yep. And then the second, this recent project that we completed, which is our book on the humps and downs, conquering the humps and downs of marriage. That book took about 2 months to get out.
2 months to get out. And we did that because we had set a deadline for our anniversary. And so we were trying to give ourselves enough time to get it out, to take our time with the book. I would like to self-publish a book with my wife, my significant other, my spouse. It was a wonderful experience. My wife and I have always worked good together, and whatever we did, whatever project we set out to do. And so for me, it was very easy to work with her. Actually, I wouldn't want to work with anyone else but her.
So what was it like writing a book with my husband, Grover? It was a very pleasant experience, especially considering the subject matter, conquering the humps and downs of marriage. It was great writing a book with someone that shared similar memories with you concerning the book. And it's easier because you have a person to help to contribute work-wise to the writing of the book, and it sparked some fresh new romance writing about marriage as well. So it was great. So my advice to anyone who is interested in self-publishing their own book is to first of all make the financial investment to learn how to do it, and then that way you will have the skill set and the know-how to not only publish your own book, but to help other people publish theirs. I mean, you could open up you a mini publishing company after you learn how to do this. And so, and which means that the investment, you will make a return on it. So be willing to make that financial investment to learn.
I think people should pay attention when they're publishing their own book. First of all, what the need is at that particular time or that moment. For example, the book that my wife and I have run, the Humps and Downs of Marriage, we saw a need for married couples, both young, we try to reach young, old, newlyweds, whoever is married or even considering to get married. This book is designed, we feel that it will help anyone that's really just trying to either better their marriage or better understand one another, the needs of each other. It's very important to understand the needs of what's going on out here in the world. Whatever you want to write a book on, and believe in yourself that you can do it.
So some of the things that a person wants to pay attention to that's self-publishing, you first, you want to determine who's your demographic. Are you talking to teenagers? Are you talking to honeymooners? Are you talking to folks that have been divorced? Those are examples of things you want to pay attention to. You want to pay attention to the components that have made other books successful and in demand. You want to pay attention to how folks who've been successful with their book, how did they market that book? You want to pay attention to testimonials of books, and so those are some things that you want to watch for. Some ways to market your self-published book, because after all, it's self-published, and you're not going to have the marketing support of a major publishing company. So you've got to get creative on how you are going to market your book and some ways that you can do that. Of course, social media, because it's free. And that would be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and any other social media avenue that you can think of. And you could do radio spots, you can do letters to your local TV stations and send them complimentary copies of your book. Share your brief story or testimonial about the book or why you think it'll help folks. And in many cases, you can get invited on TV shows just to talk about your book. And then not only locally but nationally, send a book to Oprah, send a book to Steve Harvey. You never know. There are people who have been invited on these major talk shows simply because they shared their story and sent a complimentary copy of the book. You can also pay to have celebrities to give you a shout out on Twitter regarding your book. You can send letters to nonprofit organizations telling them about your book and how you think your book could help their organization. If you're writing a book on homelessness, then you could contact a homeless shelter and tell them about your book and let them know, hey, I will sell you my book at wholesale price if you can buy a case of them. And so those are just a few ways that you can market your own book. If you would like to find out more information about how to self-publish your book, you can go to my website at KeilaBryson.com and click on the shop tab. And in there is one option for me to come and teach the course in a workshop format, which I usually try to do that maybe every 2 or 3 months. And then there's also an e-course format where you can watch video footage of me instructing you how to self-publish your books. Thank you.